Hi everybody, we're in the Inchworm and we are going somewhere different. So unusually for November, because we're in the first week of November, we are going to go to Florida. We are here at Fort Pickens and we're gonna look around and look in the fort and show you around. What makes the forts along the Gulf Coast so strong, so able to withstand the might of hurricane after hurricane, is the use of the arch. The visible overhead arches distribute weight to the pier foundation. To minimize settling in the unstable sand, there are reverse arches underneath. Similar forts are scattered throughout the Gulf Islands National Seashore. The summer following Hurricane Katrina, I found an ironic sense of peace in Fort Massachusetts, off the coast of my own town. I would take a boat ride out and just wander the old fort that in previous years didn't hold much interest for me. I just couldn't believe something so old could survive such an onslaught. I say ironic because peace has nothing to do, really, with a military fort built to defend a place during wartime. And there's the disturbing history surrounding the construction of these forts, like the fact that much of it was done by enslaved human beings. Even during the Union occupation of Fort Pickens, and despite the fact that Fort Pickens became a stop on the Underground Railroad, the bricks that were used to build the new structures came from brickworks using the labor of enslaved people. Today, you can see the handprints of some of those people in the bricks. Fort Pickens was also where the famous Chiricahua Apache medicine man Geronimo was imprisoned, his incarceration there becoming a sideshow attraction to make money for the fort and a way to further humiliate a brave man and his people. You can see why this was such a prized location. Situated on this barrier island, the fort has views not only of the Gulf of Mexico, but the bay and the land beyond. I wonder what it was like for the people who stayed here to be surrounded by man's inhumanity to man, but also the beauty of the natural world. Well, we've made it to our camp at Fort Pickens, and we are kind of just sitting here enjoying the shade for a few minutes. We walked around the fort for a little while, and in a few minutes we're going to hike a trail. There's a lot of wildflowers blooming right now, and I definitely want to get some footage of that.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden, golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and hummingbirds sing. Golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves.
Well, we woke up this morning. It is, I don't know what time it is. We had coffee and all that, and now we're taking a hike to explore some of the plants here at Fort Pickens. One thing they have a lot of on this trail is YAUPON holly, and it's full of berries right now. It doesn't seem to grow as large as the YAUPONs at home, but that's to be expected. Nothing here grows very tall. The reason being is we're right on an island. This is Santa Rosa Island. Fort Pickens is on an island. And I mean, not just hurricanes, tropical storms, and just wind in general kind of shapes the landscape here. This is one of the batteries, and this is a little picnic area here at Fort Pickens. Joe's up there, and he says he can see the whole Gulf from up there, so let's go take a look. It's kind of creepy getting up here. Woo! Joe, don't step back. So along this trail, we also have a lot of beach rosemary, or also known as false rosemary. It's a beautiful plant, and it's very, very fragrant when you crush the leaves. And it's also part of a very delicate ecosystem, so you don't want to pick a bunch of this. It's not like it's, super plentiful, because it only grows in a very specific environment. Another plant common to the Florida desert is this Florida heath, also known as Florida rosemary. And I know it gets confusing because we already looked at a plant called beach rosemary, but these are actually two different species of plant. They have very different structures, but that's the thing about common names. And that's why it's important to learn scientific names, because if you're just looking for rosemary, you're gonna look up rosemary and find these two completely separate plants. I'm going to write out the scientific names above these pictures so that you will know. But they are definitely two different species. I wanted to show this really twisty pine. Kind of shows you what wind does to the plants out here. It just twists and winds all the way up. And here we see some twisted branches in this pine. It's just beautiful what the wind does. I might have hit the jackpot of twisty trees. We've got this pine that's crazy, and then sweeping over, you'll see this twisty live oak. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. filling station. That's fantastic.
It's all about in the messages to use reusable water bottle.
Yep. Oh, there's another snake.
I don't think that's. Is it a grebe?
It's a juvenile pie-billed grebe.
I don't think that's it. That's a. It might be. I don't know.
It's very pretty up in here. On our way out of Fort Pickens, we hiked the Blackbird Marsh Trail. And here we have a bunch of saw palmetto. We have a lot of this on the Mississippi Gulf Coast too. And they really sound cool blowing in the wind. Straight ahead in that dead tree, there is a big old osprey nest. Another fabulous twisted tree. This one's dead, but golly, is it beautiful. Oh, that's just beautiful. I mean, every branch. Oh. Guess if I ever started a band, it'd have to be called Twisted Tree. Look at the bark. I don't know if this video is going to show it, but oh my God. It's just beautiful. Oh, it's just beautiful. I want to discuss these beauties for a minute. These are sand live oaks. I always thought these were just plain live oaks that didn't get as big because they were growing in harsh conditions. But it turns out they're an entirely different species from Quercus virginiana. Besides the obvious smaller size, they also tend to grow in clusters like these, and their bark is grayer than their large cousins. I've always called them scrub oaks, and I still think it's a good common name. And that's the thing about common names. I can kind of make up my own. He doesn't notice us. really had a great hike this morning along the trail from the campground to the fort. On our way back down the trail, we met a park ranger named Jean Tarosi with the National Park Service, and boy, was she a wealth of information about the fort, about the area. I had no idea a lot of the things that she was telling us, and I'm sure that if you take one of the tours, you'd find out all that information. We just haven't been able to take a tour. We got here kind of late yesterday. Anyway, now we are headed off to Grayton Beach. We'll do some hiking there, and so far this has been a wish us luck on the drive. We never know how it's gonna go. At Grayton Beach State Park, we took an evening hike down the Dune Trail, and from there we walked to the shoreline for one last sunset.